1 year after the events of the 2022 Woodsboro murders, in New York City, Blackmore University film professor, Laura Crane, is in a bar waiting for her flirt or date to show up. She gets a message from her date revealing that he is lost and requests to call her. She accepts and the two speak on the phone, with the date revealing he went to the wrong place, but he is on his way. Laura goes outside and waits for him and he tells her he is coming down the alley and he can see her. Laura gets nervous when her date reveals that he is being followed by someone with a knife and she runs down the alley to meet him only to be killed by Ghostface, who is revealed to be her student, Jason Carvey. He abandons the body and returns to his dorm room where it is revealed that he and his roommate, Greg Bruckner, are fans of Richie Kirsch and want to finish the movie he was making. Jason gets a call from Greg, who is using the Ghostface voice, and he plays a game of hot and cold with Jason, leading Jason to the refrigerator where Greg's body is mutilated inside. Ghostface, wearing Billy's mask, attacks Jason. Jason questions the killer about their movie, to which Ghostface responds, "Who gives a fuck about movies," before killing Jason while wearing Billy Loomis' mask. Ghostface also in this attack left Richie Kirsch's and Amber Freeman's mask. That same night, Samantha Carpenter is in a therapy session with her therapist where she opens up to him about how she has been pinned as the true mastermind of the 2022 Ghostface killings and having framed Richie, showing him a subreddit dedicated to the topic. She opens up to her therapist that when she stabbed Richie, it felt right, making the therapist uncomfortable and ending their session revealing he'll have to pass this information on to the police. Sam returns to the apartment she shares with Tara and roommate Quinn Bailey and discovers that Tara has gone out to a frat party. Being overprotecting of Tara, Sam goes to find her. At the police station, the sisters are interviewed by Detective Bailey, who reveals that a mask left behind at Jason and Greg's murder had DNA inside that was a match to Richie. The interview is interrupted by the arrival of Kirby Reed, a survivor of Jill and Charlie's killing spree and now a special agent in the Atlanta office of the FBI, who has been investigating Ghostface killings. Detective Bailey reveals that another mask which was left behind at the bodega had DNA that matched Jill Roberts and Charlie Walker, the killers of the second Woodsboro murders. Kirby agrees to work alongside Detective Bailey to solve the murders. As Tara and Sam leave the police station, they are questioned by reporters, including Gail Weathers, and it is revealed that there is bad blood between the sisters and Gail, as she wrote a book about the 2022 murders when she said she wouldn't. In that book she also wrote about how Sam could have been the killer. Gail reveals that she spoke to Sidney Prescott and that she is taking Mark Kincaid and their kids into hiding. Sam tries to punch Gail, which she blocks, and Tara lands a blow to Gail's face and the sisters leave in a taxi. At the Blackmore University campus, Mindy, Chad, Tara, Sam, Ethan, Anika and Quinn gather where Mindy explains the new rules for the sequel to the requel, including that anyone can die, including the main cast and legacy characters, and that the blood and body count will be bigger. At his home, Dr. Stone is murdered, and back at the police station, Detective Bailey reveals that another mask was uncovered from the scene with DNA matching to Roman Bridger, and he and Kirby track the timeline of Ghostface and deduce that the killer is counting down to the mask worn by Billy, which is when they will kill Sam and Tara. That night, the group are all staying in Sam, Tara and Quinn's apartment, minus Ethan, who has a class. Chad nicknames the 4 survivors the Core 4, and Sam reveals that she is dating Danny. In his apartment, Danny looks into Quinn's room to see Ghostface standing above Quinn, who is talking on the phone whilst gentleman caller is showering. Danny tries to warn Sam, but she ignores his call, and the group hear grunting and screaming coming from Quinn's room, which they deduce to be Quinn having sex. As the sun rises, Sam reveals to Danny that someone took away their knives so they couldn't fight balaclava against the killer, leaving her unsure who to trust. Chad confronts Ethan, who shows up to the crime scene, accusing him of being the killer, but backs off after Ethan swears that he was in an economics class. Detective Bailey mourns the loss of Quinn and how he has lost both his kids, vowing to find the killer and kill them. Kirby arrives at the scene and is reunited with Gail, who reveals that she found something they'll want to see. Gail takes them all to an old theater which was bought by Jason and Greg, and inside is a shrine dedicated to Ghostface which contains the costumes of all the past Ghostface killers, minus their masks, and crime scene photos, drawings, stab memorabilia and clothes worn by past victims and killers. Sam looks over the costume of Billy and begins to have visions of him once again. Kirby and Mindy bond over horror movies, a love they share. And Tara expresses her desire to escape her past and Kirby talks her through how she got through being a survivor. Gail and Sam reconcile and Sam reveals that her mother has cut them off and she just wants a family, which Gail says she can make even with just Tara. Detective Bailey announces a plan he has to find the killer, however Kirby excludes Gail from the plan as she is not an authority figure. When he wakes up, he gets a call from Sam who uses the Ghostface voice to threaten him. Sam then appears wearing Billy's costume and mask and stabs Detective Bailey an innumerable number of times. She takes off the mask and after an approving nod from Tara, stabs Detective Bailey through the eye and kills him. Ethan comes back for one last scare and Kirby finishes him off by dropping the same TV that killed Stu Macker on him. Danny arrives with officers from the NYPD and reveals that Gail and Mindy survived their attacks and that Mindy is on her way. Outside the theater, Kirby is put into an ambulance and tells Sam to call her if she needs anything. Tara cries as she mourns Chad's loss, but he is then wheeled out of the theater on a stretcher, still alive, leading to Tara kissing him in happiness and affirming they are the core four. Mindy arrives, lamenting missing the monologue and leaves with Chad in an ambulance. Inside her jacket, Sam stares down at Billy's mask but then drops it, not giving in to her urges. She, Tara and Danny leave the crime scene, another killing spree behind them.